Hello, this is Beta Ray Ben for Pixel Spank, and you remember in Star Wars Episode 9 how at the start of the film Kylo Ren is hunting down the signal, the mysterious signal the whole galaxy heard, and he's doing it in that really cool little ship he has. You know, his version of the TIE Fighter. It's kind of like an interceptor but cooler. Well, this is his shuttle that appeared in The Force Unleashed quite a bit, and yeah, it was also in The Last Jedi. I think the last we see of it is on Crate, isn't it? But it's actually a really cool ship because it's like the Imperial shuttles, but black and red, which is far more awesome. So it looks like it shoots. That's a good sign. I feel like it folds up, but I'm trying to actually remember in the film if that's actually a factor. Does it ever actually furl and unfurl? I can't really think. You also get minifigs. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So in theory, this is therefore based at the very end of Last Jedi, which is weird because this set would have come out around Last Jedi. So this may have been a spoiler for Last Jedi at the time because it tells you he becomes the Supreme Leader. General Pryde. A Sith Trooper. First Order Stormtrooper. And Knights of Ren times 2, who were only revealed in Episode 9. This isn't a new set. Wait, have I had how old is this set? Maybe this set was for this year. If that's the case, General Pryde might be Richard E. Grant, but he didn't have grey hair. Did he have grey hair? It doesn't matter. Inevitably, it doesn't matter. Nothing on the sides there. So I'm just looking at the back. It's looking like, to me, the wings will unfold, so that'll be exciting. And there is a cockpit, but let's get inside. Now, I don't normally need a knife for these, do I? But no, I think they've changed the design once again. They used to give you like thumb push-outs, but this one's just take down. Beautiful. Let's just set that aside. Over there. It's good to know what you're working towards, isn't it? Alright. Are the instructions normally in a plastic bag? I don't really remember that being a thing. I feel like I haven't built any Lego for the longest time. I've had it to build, I've just been really lazy. There's literally a stack of them there. Okay, let's see, empty the box, empty the bags, build the thing, empty another bag. Okay, got it. There's a brick separator in here. Ooh. I was going to say it looks like it's an upgraded brick separator, but I think what it actually is, it's the first time I've seen instructions where it tells you how to actually use the brick separator in all of its functions. It's got 4 functions. I thought I only had 1. I've been upgraded. I've been juiced. Oh, this is quite good as well, actually. I don't think they normally do this. So they tell you what actually each bag does. So bag 1's the base, cockpit, engines, wing, another wing, another wing. The wings are in 4 parts. Yeah, okay. Right, well, I'll get this built. I can already tell that the Kylo Ren minifig is a delight from looking at this. And it's definitely this is definitely based on the 9th film. I now know why. It's because Kylo Ren, his minifig here, the helmet, has got the red cracks from where he had it reforged, which I believe is in reference to the Japanese technique, or possibly Chinese. It's hard to tell, their histories are muddled, it's not a race thing. What kind of is? Of when ship breaks, you remake it with gold to symbolically do something or other. You honestly thought I was going to be of use to you then, didn't you? Okay, I'll get this built and then we'll review it, shall we? And we're done. Okay, this is quite the thing. This is actually much larger than I thought it would be. I don't know why I thought it would be roughly 30% smaller than this. It's very cool. Set that to the side for a minute. Let's look at the minifigs. That's where we always start. Just gonna grab them over there. So Stormtrooper is I think this is a First Order Stormtrooper. In fact, I'm gonna get the list. I want to get this right. Someone's gone through the trouble of design. Ah, there we are. It says in the front. Yeah, so this is a First Order Stormtrooper, not a Imperial Stormtrooper, not Clone Trooper. First Order. It's yeah, it looks good. I had a sudden thought when I was putting this together. Do I actually have any Stormtroopers? And given that I've got one of those First Order ATs, I must have one. But I feel like this Millennium Falcon didn't actually come with any Stormtroopers. Don't touch that. Yeah, he's pretty good. Helmet comes off. He's only got one face under the helmet, which normally Lego faces have two printed on. It's a minor thing though. And the what does he call them? The Last Order. The Last Order Stormtrooper. No, it's a Sith Trooper. So he's red, obviously. He's a different design as well to the other Stormtrooper. It's not just painted red. It is different. Only one face. He's got a different gun design, which is quite cool. He's got the blaster, but it's got a clip for a big scope on it, which is nice. I didn't pay strong enough attention in the film to note if that was actually a factor, but that's very cool. Just pop in there. Sit, you buggers. Good. Right, so, and then this is the officer, what's his name? General Pryde. You remember General Pryde, obviously. He's pretty generic, to be honest. He's just a generic Imperial officer. He's got two faces available, sort of annoyed and more annoyed, I would say. Standard officer's pistol, slightly smaller than the E111 blaster of the Stormtrooper, or something like that, isn't it? It's tricky because I think it's E111, but I also know that's a special type of form you used to have to fill in to get medical cover in Europe. So I'm not sure if that's right. So that's pretty good. We've got first member of the Knights of Ren, whose name is not given. I feel like I remember reading their name somewhere though. Or maybe I remember coming across some sort of documentation in some part of my life that told me the names of the Knights of Ren. Because obviously in the film they do nothing, but in extended material, I'm sure there will become a point to them, but it's clearly not in there. Maybe they don't have names. So this one, he's got a helmet and a staff, which in the film I seem to recall nothing about him. But he also, for some reason, they kept displaying him with this little disc stud token thing, which I guess is supposed to be a landmine, maybe. Again, can't remember if he did anything in the film. If I hadn't got that to go on, I would think it's a bit like the thing that Star-Lord has in Infinity War, where he throws it down and it's like a kind of magnetic / gravity kind of clamp where it sticks to the floor and then it hooks someone. So he's got that kind of just comes with him, and in all the like documents around him, it's always just placed on the floor, kind of next to him. He can kind of hold it a bit. There you are. Yeah, there you go. You can get it on his hand. And if you take his mask off, he has no face, which maybe that's showing that he's not human, or I'm not sure. What's weird is he hasn't got a face under the mask at all, and he's just got a purely black head, which is not, I don't know. He's kind of cool though. He's a bit different. The other Knight of Ren looks significantly better because he's got a cape and a hood, and he's also got a pretty cool battle axe, Well, actually, I guess it's a halberd because it's got the long pole or a pole arm. So it's something like either way, he's cooler. He's got an actual face, but it's still kind of a robot face. But he's got a good look to him. Don't really know anything about the Knights of Ren. Yeah, so now on to the main one, Kylo Ren. Yeah, it's an interesting one. So got the kind of Claymore lightsaber, which is almost right but not quite, because the blade is one piece with the kind of cross hilt on it, which obviously it's not in the films. That the handle sort of actually comes up between them, which I always thought meant that if that was to catch like another lightsaber, it wouldn't work because it would just immediately slice through the handle. But it looks fair enough. Kind of slightly crucifixy, but that's all right. Cape's good, the body's good. The helmet is the one with the red sort of Sith reforging lines on it, which is interesting because why didn't he just have a new helmet? Why did he have to remake the old one? There's probably a reason for that in the lore. Now, the one bit of this I don't like. Take his helmet off. He's got a face, obviously. He's got Kylo Ren's scarred, angry face, or Kylo Ren's scarred, upset face. But he's got no hair. Kylo Ren, very specifically, Adam Driver, has long, luscious locks. There's no way they could have had the helmet and the hair, but if you're going to have a face underneath the helmet, it's clearly a Kylo Ren head. Why not also just chuck in the hair as well? Seems unnecessary not to give the two options. That's my one slight annoyance of it. I feel like someone out there will have done the work and will know that the Kylo Ren minifig hair is used in these other minifigs. If you get one of these cheap ones, you can chuck it away. Like it'll be, I don't know, like theme park employee 6 or female firefighter 2, something like that. So that's the minifigs. They're quite a good bunch. All First Order, Sith, Empire sorts, you know. I suppose technically speaking, there's a brief window where it would be Kylo Ren versus all of these, but you know, it's good. Fits with the shuttle. I feel like he could have had a Hux in there. Right, so now the shuttle itself. So you can see the wings do this. They move this much. They're on this weird spring, so they can't actually move more than that. And I think you're supposed to move them by twisting this engine. Is like the not grabby bit of it. Now they also have another maneuver which is super cool. It's perhaps the best maneuver. You undo these two clips at the back, which you can't tell are clips unless you know, and then you twist them. Oh, look at that! Yes. Oh, that's cool, isn't it? And then it folds up. The only trouble is the clips don't rotate around to a nice flush position. Oh wait, no they do. I lied. You just got to give it a little bit more. There we go. This one slightly gets caught on a bit of detailing there, but look, it folds up. Isn't that cool? Remember how his ship does that? I don't, to be fair. I don't really remember any of his ship. I'd have to see it again, but I bet it does do this. So that's nice. Again, this little bit of movement, I'm sure it's movie accurate because I can't think otherwise why you'd have it. It took a tremendous amount of engineering to get it, but it's cool. Right, I'll refold the wings out. Look at that, that's cool, isn't it? It'd be cool if this one had lined up properly, but there we go. That's fine. And then they actually clip in place, so that can only happen if you make it happen. Yeah, so that's that. Oh, bit fell off there. That's fine. I know where this has come from. It's fine. This canopy at the front opens up, revealing the innards of the ship, which in theory, according to documentation, either in here or online, I forget where, this can fit 3 minifigs in it. And I think that's going to be 3 without weapons, obviously. Oh, this is quite good actually. The way they go in it is you don't have to like clamp their feet in. They go in a sitting position, and their legs just sort of slot in. That's really good, actually. I can respect this. Interestingly, they haven't given you anyone you would describe as a shuttle pilot, but yeah, so that fits 3 minifigs. Yep, pretty sure that's not slamming on their heads. That's a good fit. They're in there, but they're not. Normally, when you have to put things in a cockpit, they either just sit kind of loose in it, or you properly attach their feet, or even in a sitting position, sometimes you attach them like that. I've said that as a thing. Now I'm wondering if it is a thing. Let me just try it on the... I won't try it on the Falcon. I'll try it on this loose bit of Lego I have. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, so you could attach them like that, but the trouble with that is it requires quite a bit of force. But with this system, where it's just sort of a bit of plastic rammed between their legs, they go in and out pretty easily. But they're in there enough that they ain't going to move around in a hurry. So that's good. This doesn't lift up. I thought that was on a hinge, but it's not. It's actually just placed there. That's fine. It's got 2 shooties underneath, which are actually very powerful. I shot one off by accident, and it flew. Thematically, it worked quite well because it flew straight into the Millennium Falcon here, and then straight out the other side, which was very cool. They've actually got quite a cool firing mechanism as well. Instead of having to just sort of tickle the end of it's one of these it fires, one of these big green ones. Normally, to fire these sort of things, you tickle the end and it will just shoot out. But on these, it's got these kind of purpose-built little plungers that I'll fire one off now. I won't fire it into the ether. I'll fire it at the box. That's easiest, isn't it? Yep. See, so that's pretty cool. Works well. Quite easy to reload as well. You just jam them back in the front. I guess these are supposed to be cannons as well in look, but they're the only things that do anything there. And then if you look at the back, the engines are quite good. I quite like the engines, just 2 big ones. Only major downsides I've found so far with it are twofold. One is minor. The back side of the wings feels very much like there's not really any detailing there. It's feels like the underside of Lego, you know, that it's not made to look like anything particularly. That's kind of minor though. And then the other thing, it's also not major. It's got no landing gear. I'd like it if it could just sit, like perch, like there on some legs of some kind. I was actually surprised that it didn't. Because as I was building it, I kept having to just lay it flat, and I was like, surely it has some landing apparatus. But I guess it does. It does when the wings are folded up like this. It does kind of sit on them. So I guess that's the logic. Take up, fold out, and that's so that kind of works like that. But it's not quite right because they always want to unfold, which is weird because I do remember there's a piece I've never come across before, which had like a spring. It was like 2 pieces fused together with a spring on the outside to act as part of the mechanism in here. But for the life of me, I can't figure out what that's doing any different because there's nothing. It's in between it's what holds these 2 together. I think. Oh, actually, I know what it does. It's there to make sure they move as one. Is what it is. Yeah, so you can't move one at a time. Okay, never mind that. Yeah, pop that there. So this was £100, I think, is the general price of it. Obviously, it's Lego, so it is expensive, but it's not overly so. I feel like it's 1,000 pieces. It's pretty big. It took me I don't know, 5 or 6 hours to build. It is a nice piece. Yeah, I can go for it at that price. I feel. What else do you get? There's the Millennium Falcon. Not that one, the more normal size one. I feel like that's in the like 120 quid realm, so it's cheaper than that. It's tricky because there aren't many in the sort of shuttle class range, are there? There's fighter ships which are always sort of all over the place, but yeah, it's a pretty good price. The only trouble is, when you think Kylo Ren's ship, I feel like you think the TIE Fighter now. It's more iconic. He actually uses it, although this one did have that big showing in Last Jedi, specifically the red at the front, which is why I feel Hux should be in this. Were they in this, or were they in an AT-AT? I feel like they were in this. My knowledge of the films is not great anymore, is it? Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time for I don't know, more Lego. There's a lot of Lego there still. I'll see you then.